Track and field is one of the storied programs in the history of University of Indianapolis athletics, boasting multiple former national champions. They're shooting for more in 2017. We'll talk to Coach Fangman and two of his star athletes as we talk Greyhound track here on the UIndy Xperience. It may not feel like it's track and field weather outside. Well, that's fine. We got an indoor season to talk about. And head coach Scott Fangman of the UIndy track and field program joining us now. Coach, it's always good to see you, my friend.
Thanks. It's a pleasure here, too.
Just what's it like knowing, again, we kind of talk about spring sports here. You guys are, if not a year-round sport, you're clearly a winter and spring sport with having the two separate seasons. Absolutely. What does that mean for you and your student athletes?
Well, I tell you what we have to do is it changes everything. When we start in August, we start their training in September, you have to really tone it down. It's year-round, as opposed to, back in the day when I was coaching football, it's high intensity right out of the box and you just keep going and going. Here you got to kind of tone it down, and it's a long, enduring race.
This is our yearly chance to brag about being able to have now so many meets at home and train every day where you compete.
Yes.
You see the smile coming to his face already. What is it like going to work now every day with having that facility as your home track?
Well, I was just sitting out here right in front before we do all this. I was staring at Nickerson. That's where we used to train. And all I can say to the folks around me is, I don't miss this.
No.
And they started laughing.
My shin's still hurt from 20 years ago.
Exactly.
I understand.
Well, absolutely. And then we start talking about some of the dangerous things, which I won't go into here. And
good.
Liability is a wonderful thing.
Probably a good thing. All right. Again, it's the end of January, and you guys are already going from an indoor standpoint. How's it going so far?
Going good. We're young this year, so we're kind of waiting for that build-up to start, and it's going to start probably this weekend. We're going to go up to Hillsdale. We're going to go to Indiana Westland, and then we have our place. Plus, we'll have some people at IU, and then Ohio State, and then conference. And so we're getting ready.
When do you make that transition from indoor to outdoor, then, Coach?
Almost immediately. We give these guys about a week off, and then we go. And we get a pretty enduring outdoor season. We'll be up at Purdue, IU, Ohio State. We'll be down at Bellarmine a couple of times, and then we'll be done.
Your goal is to have outstanding student athletes across the board.
Absolutely.
If there's one area, though, that we kind of look at UIndy and say, all right, that's usually a lot of the national contenders come from. It's the throwers.
Yes, it is.
Is that the case again this year?
It sure is.
Yeah.
We've lived on that tradition for 20 some odd years. Actually, with Coach England, that's been our tradition for almost 40 plus years, half a century.
And how much do you sell that in the recruiting process?
We do hard, in fact, and they're good kids to go after. In college track, they throw multiple events, so it's a nice quote investment.
All right, what's going to make this a good year for you? Whether it's indoor, outdoor, what are some of the goals you've set for the team?
Well, if we can maintain the reputation that they have built for themselves, that's what I'm looking for. Let's get a good, strong finish in the conference. If we can pull this thing off, let's go win it. If not, let's make them work hard to get it. Let's get to the Nationals. We're going to Birmingham and Orlando again, and just hope for the best. It's been so far, it's been good. We got some good kids. They're in place to do some good work.
Sounds good, Coach. As always, thanks for the time.
It's a pleasure. God bless.
A lot of these interviews we're doing this time, we were talking about kind of ramping up into the season. That's not the case for you and your teammates. You are going as we speak. How's it going so far?
It's going pretty well. Our meets are pretty consistent every single week. We're just working up to conference here in about a month.
Do you have a preference in terms of indoor season versus outdoor season?
I definitely prefer indoor. Being a long jumper, you always have to kind of compete with the wind.
Right.
So indoor is definitely my favorite.
Being a tennis player, I understand exactly what you're talking about on that front. A junior here, but tell us why a couple of years ago this was the right decision for you to come to the University of Indianapolis.
Definitely has to do with Coach Fangman.
Yeah.
I was between here and Indiana Wesleyan, and I just felt more at home talking with Coach Fangman, and just really enjoyed it.
All right, what's going to make this a good year for you? What are some personal goals you set?
Well, last year I was medically redshirted, so I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things.
Yep.
But I'm definitely wanting to be in the top for the conference and long jump. I'm seated pretty high for the 60 as well, so just looking forward to that.
All right, what's the personal best long jump at this point for you?
For this year, it's a low 16, so I'm shooting for 17.
That's about 16 feet further than I could jump. I hope that makes you feel better. All right, now, classroom work, how's that going for you?
Really well. I just recently decided to change to public health. I'm exercise science undergrad, and I plan to do the Master's of Public Health program here. So I'll have my 5th year of eligibility.
Very cool. Well, way to use that extra year of eligibility, get some extra classwork in that way. What once you get done competing as a student athlete here, once you get that Master's of Public Health, what do you hope to do with that degree?
I'd like to be a public health consultant, working with hospitals and insurance companies.
Very cool. Good luck this year. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
We finally found somebody my size to be here on the interview. I'm digging this. Shaq Lewis is joining us. Young man from Jamaica, a senior here at the University of Indianapolis. Shaq, thanks for the time, buddy. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing well.
All right, you were in here when I was talking to Coach Fangman, and you heard the conversation about the tradition of great throwers here at UIndy. As a guy that is doing that now here, when you hear that, what does that mean to you?
It's just an honor just to be a part of what tradition really is. You know, it's an honor to be a part of like a historic program, an honor to be a part of something that stands for something that's valuable.
Now, I know that you began your career at Vincennes and then decided to come here. What was the impetus for that? What told you this was the right place for you?
Well, it started a couple of years ago with our late coach, Coach Z. He was a great coach, a great coach, a great man. What he did was he asked me, and I remember this every time, and I tell people every time. He asked me, "Do you like to eat?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I like to eat." Look at me. "Do you like to throw?" I was like, "Yes, I love to throw." "Well, come to UIndy." That's it. And then it happened earlier. We had a trap meet, and my technique was all out of whack. It was just all over the place. And he told me one thing, and he was like, "Just do this." And it turned out that I actually beat all of his throwers and all of the throwers in the competition, and ended up winning that competition that day. So from then I was like, okay, he just told me one thing, and it happened like that. So it's already locked in.
All right, what's going to be the goal for you coming up this spring? What are some of the goals you're trying to set?
Well, I'm going to try and repeat as the GLVC shot put champion, of course, qualify for nationals, and also try to get on that podium, the top 8, top 9 for national rankings.
Which gets you All-American status, by the way, as far as getting on that podium. It's how you qualify for something like that. Tell us how things are going for you in the classroom.
Things are going awesome. They're going awesome. I'm in my final semester.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. I haven't gotten that senioritis, because I picked up a minor last semester. So I figured, instead of having 2 classes where I'll be free most of the time, I picked up a minor, and I've got more classes, and I'm just paying attention to those.
All right. What's the major for you?
Oh, sports management, pre-PT.
And so pre-PT, thinking about going the physical therapy graduate school route when you're done here?
Not really, because I think I want to either go back home or do the OPT program that the school offers here, where I'll work for a year.
Yep.
Try to get some experience under my belt, and then do whatever God has in plan for me.
All right. As Shaq said, he likes to eat. As you can tell, I kind of am in that club too.
We're brothers.
Exactly. So, where's the good Jamaican food? Where am I missing in town? Where do I need to go?
Okay, so if you're gonna go to Jamaica, you have to go to Mother's.
Okay.
Mother's is just this chain of restaurant where they sell the best Jamaican patties.
Yep.
The best jerk chicken.
Okay.
And if you're gonna go there, you can also go to Juicy Beef, which is served almost the same thing, but it's more along the lines of just good home cooking.
Okay, go to Mother's. That's always a good recommendation.
Yes,
Very nice to meet you, buddy. Good luck this year.
Thank you.